All right. Every time I see a plastic box, anything that's plastic that looks like a container that could be a base, well, you know what I'm going to do with it. I'm going to make a diorama vignette. And I've got these boxes that slide together and I pulled them apart and you can make two pieces out of them. So I started on another World War One little diorama vignette with some figures. I really like these branch retaining walls, so I wanted to try one and get it as close as possible. So I went out and collected some branches out in the forest that have dried up from the winter. They had some small pieces on them, so that way I could cut them and use them for the branches. The larger branches from the sticks that I got, I used for the supports. Now, when I put them on here, they were too tight. So what I did is I put liquid cement and put it behind it to open it up, and I started weaving these in. Well, the small ones kept breaking, so what I had to do is I went out and got some pine needles from the pine trees that are here, and they fit in better. I wanted them a little smaller, but they're actually okay, and I could live with it. And I did some more supports with popsicle sticks, etc. You can see more on that in my 1917 video. And then I poured some sand in to fill the voids and to make it look a little more lived in, if you want to call that lived in. But the sand, like I said, was to fill the voids and to put some dirt and stuff around. I mix up my own white glue and isopropyl alcohol and put in an eyedropper to adhere all the sand that I put down. Then of course I'm going to get reference, and once you get your reference, you start having ideas. And then I use the ICM figures. They're really nice. There's no flash, but there's seam marks, and the plastic's a little soft, and you got to be careful. If you put too much liquid cement, it kind of crazes the plastic. So just take note of that and be careful. Cleanup is probably what takes the most time, because you're going to have a seam line in it, and that's what's bad about plastic figures, is that seam line. But they really can be great figures for modification and doing conversions. So I started putting them together because I had to see how they were going to fit now into the diorama, so that way I could get an idea of the rest of the build, especially what's going to come next. But the cool thing is these gas masks on the guys. Anytime you can do a figure that looks kind of like Darth Vader, why not? They come in halves with the mask one side, and then the back of the head is the other piece of the figure's head with the mask. It's kind of cool. You see the halves fit together, and you just glue them together. So once I did that, then I started working on the figures, hollowed out some of the bags to put some grenades in, and then I wanted to modify the base even more. So this guy, as you can see in one of the more final photos, coming through up above the sandbags, running through to charge in World War One. So I had to remake the bandola ammo pouches on one of the figures because it didn't fit well. The other one fit really well, and you can see here the pouches I made. And then I used lead foil for the straps, as many as I could. So these guys are pretty much ready for painting. I paint everything on them. So I had to clear out some more of the foam, and then I started filling in some of the voids with Magic Sculpt 2-part epoxy putty. And then the fun part that I really enjoyed was making sandbags. I did this for the 1917 Last Man Standing diorama vignette also. And I thought, well, I'm going to get better at this one because I have a better idea how I'm going to paint these. So I started putting them in, really filled up this section here in the front, and I'm going to put some in the back as well. But like as I said, these are made from Magic Sculpt, and I make them about ½ an inch. They don't have to be exact. And they're put into place. And then what I learned was if I make this seam line on all the sandbags, then I can go back and put in the actual where they've been sewn the seams in that stick out with soldering. Here you can see where I added the figures in, and while it's still wet, and you can see the talcum powder on there so the figures won't stick. And I wanted those two guys to definitely fit in really well so they would fit into the sandbags. And you can see here, as I remove this guy, you can see where he fits in perfect. And the other guy's foot goes in there. So I'm going to remove the figures and start working on the rest of this base. So my reference showed a ladder, and I made this out of a popsicle stick just by slicing it into pieces and then gluing it together. Really easy and fun. It's just one more thing you can do yourself. And then with thin gauge solder, I just put some super glue on the end, start one, get it stuck, and then put super glue on the actual solder and put it right into that seam. And it makes a really cool sewed seam area there for the fabric that was used to make the sandbags. And you can see also right there where I have a gunshot into it. The base was in just completely painted flat black. And I've done this on a lot of others. And the figures as well are painted flat black. And then I got the airbrush out, and with some white acrylic paint, just started hitting all the raised areas so I can start seeing the detail, and it also kind of highlights everything. I love this stage because you really start seeing things. And then I went ahead and sprayed the white over the top of the figures to get them prepared for painting using acrylics, which I'm going to paint them pretty much all on acrylics later. And I went back and just hit a few more areas on the base and got it all pretty much prepared. And here you can see so far what it looks like. And I love this part because it's just like a black and white photograph or something. And the figures you can see as well with the white sprayed over them just to get some texture and some highlights. And then after that, I used German field gray to spray over the uniforms to start getting that color in that I wanted. So now back to the sandbags. The last sandbags that I painted in that Last Man Standing 1917 video I did, I didn't really like the colors. So I went with a lighter color this time of an oil paint, and that's burnt umber there and white. And I start painting on the oil paints with a flat brush, and I spread that oil out. You don't see any clumps. You want it to be spread out really thin over whatever you're painting. You don't want to blob it up or anything like that. It's just really spread out thin, and that's what you want. I did it over all the sandbags, got those all done, and I really knew I was going to like this color a lot better than the last one I did, and wow, was I really pleased with the end result. Then I get some burnt umber, and with a smaller brush, I just quickly put the paint in all the cracks. Anywhere there's a crack, seam, wherever you want to see an area that's shadowed or deep in the fold, etc. So you can see here the base color of the sandbags as you did before, and then with the shadow color blended in. And this color looks so much better than the others. And then with just white artist oil, I put in places that will stand out on the sandbags, the higher areas, which are going to get more of the light. And I put that in, and then with a clean brush, just stipple it in like that, just as I'm showing. And you constantly have to clean your brush so it doesn't build up with paint, so that way you can keep blending. And then, of course, it's time for a burnt umber wash. And that's just applied into just the dirt areas and the wood framing in the diorama, as well as the branch supports. And for the groundwork, I was going to do some light dry brushing. And that's what I used for most of the groundwork was just dry brush like this, just to get some tones in there and bring out all the details that I put in from the wood and the dirt and etc. Just use some whatever you feel like earth colors you'd like, and just make sure, like I said, it's never monotone. And here's so far, it's coming out really well. I was really having a blast so far. So I'm back to figure painting now. I've got oils out, and I've got a highlight, a base, and a shadow color. And I'm going and just in and putting the shadow color in the folds, etc. And then I'll just do the highlights. And then with the base color, you can pretty much dilute that down. And anywhere you want to blend, you just kind of put that over it, and it blends it fairly well. I used to paint all in oils, and it seemed so easy to blend, but it was hard for the smaller details on these size figures. Oils do way better on larger figures. And then it was time to start painting details, got some reference for the gas mask, and I used a brown color that I had, you know, just match your reference the best you could. And then I painted the same brown on the knee pads and elbow pads, and then used, I think it was like Russian tan, to start painting over the tones over that. And then it was time to finally paint the skin tones, which are just really the hands and just the side of the neck. So I just grabbed some oils, fixed them up, and started painting just the dark and then lighten it up just to give some tones on the skin. And, you know, I'm always got reference with me to look at. It's really important. Reference not only gives you inspiration, but boy, it sure helps during your build and paint. And then it was time to put the figures in place. I was real excited about getting this one completed. And it was starting to get a little bit monotonous, and I was ready to go to the next project. But you got to be patient. And then with ground up pastels, which I always use, you can use pigments. I finished the weathering process by just dusting on these things. It actually brings out detail as well. And it kind of brings your figures into the scene. And here is the completed scene. It took me a few weeks to do, but I'm real pleased with it. I really enjoy doing multi-figure action scenes now, because I never really did them in the past. I always did a vehicle and one figure for scale, if anybody knows my work. And this one just was a blast. I really enjoyed it. And so thanks for your support and watching my videos. And stay tuned. I've got more coming.